The Honourable Leader of the Opposition, David Shearer.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Well, I can tell you what John Key has said. He said that he would resign before putting up the retirement age. Now, that's a good idea. That is one good idea that the government's come up with, Mr Speaker. Actually, that's what your leader's been saying, Mr Guy. That's what your leader's been saying. I think you should hold his feet to the fire, my friend. Sir, the important point about this debate is that the Retirement Commissioner has actually come out and said that if you don't do something about superannuation, you've simply got your head in the sand. Therefore, this government has got its head in the sand. The bottom line here is that when I go around and I talk to young people, and people in their 20s, but certainly people in their 30s and 40s, they honestly don't believe that superannuation will be there when they get to the point of retirement. That the people that are around today will have pulled up that ladder and they will be having to fend for themselves. And the statistics and the maths and just about every reputable organisation has come out and said, if we don't do something about it soon, that's exactly what's going to happen. 2.4 people will be in work for every one superannuitant in 30 years' time. They cannot possibly look after their own health, education and the superannuation of people who need superannuation. We need to do something about it now, and that's exactly what the Retirement Commissioner has been talking about. It's about lifting the age, but it's about doing it fairly. Fairness in 3 areas. Fairness so that we don't disadvantage our young people today, that we give them exactly the same opportunities that we enjoyed in the past. Fairness so that those people who can't work to 67 because they are in manual jobs, because they are unable to get to work to 67, that they are treated fairly. And fairness, and this is where I think which is going to happen, fairness around the ability for people to plan into the future. And if you don't give people that ability, what's going to happen is that they will have this foisted upon them, because suddenly we will not be able to afford to continue as we are today. Darian Fenton mentioned the statistic about education. 3 years' time, superannuation will exceed our entire education budget. Our entire education budget. And it just gets worse and worse from there on in. The superannuation budget is going like this, and education will be staying flat. So this government putting its head in the sand, and John Key saying he will resign before he's putting up the retirement age, is simply just closing off options and not being responsible about where New Zealand has to plan and where it has to go. And what we have said that we will do is we will sit down with any party and talk about this issue right across the Parliament, right across New Zealand society, because this is too big an issue to be politicking about. But I can tell you what, Mr Chair, we will be putting the pressure on this government to actually realise what it is doing by ignoring the statistics and the time bomb that awaits us if we don't do something about this. We will sit down and talk about it, but we are not going to take our eye off the ball in terms of making the responsible decisions for New Zealand. This is an issue that affects us all. It affects us, those people who are about to go into retirement. It affects those people who are being born today, or my kids, who are going to have to foot the bill for my retirement into the future. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair that they are going to have to foot the bill at the same time as pay their education, pay their health, and you can argue and yell all you like on the other side, but you know, sorry, Mr. Speaker, that party knows that they cannot ignore this issue. The IMF, the OECD, Treasury, just about every single reputable organisation around the world recognises this. We see Australia, the UK, the US, most of the OECD lifting their retirement ages to 67 because they know that's the responsible thing to do, Mr Chair, and this government should realise it as well.
The Honourable David Parker.